Welcome, Hopkinton, to the Hopkinton Hangout Hour, live on HCAM weekly at 2 o'clock. Thank you very much for joining us. Today, we're going to be talking about a really neat event coming up called Let's Talk About It. And I have my guests are assembling now, which is exciting. And right before we get to that, I'm going to throw this to Matt Clark for about a minute so that he can tell us about some of the other episodes that are coming up live this week. Matt.
Thanks, Jim. Well, real quick, we'll just get to it. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we have our usual talk with Superintendent Dr. Carol Kavanaugh about about the current plans for the schools reopening. On Wednesday, Tom Nappy will be talking with Tommy Castle of the Metro West Daily News, who's a sports and athletic writer for them. And then on Thursday, we're going to be having our weekly update with Sean McAuliffe and Casey Morrow of the Hopkinton Health Department as well. So we have a lot of good stuff this week.
Thank you very much, Matt.
No problem.
And now I see we have 4 of our expected guests on. I'd like to welcome you all, Freya, Kim, Carol, and Shazane. And I think first, just to let our viewers kind of see who you are, if you could just introduce yourselves and say what team that you're working with. Freya, you can kick off.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm very excited. My name is Freya Proudman. I grew up in Hopkinton, and I am a graduate of Hopkinton High School, class of 2018. At the moment, I am currently studying abroad at university in London, and I have been helping out Hopkinton Public Schools and Hopkinton Diversity Club on some of the projects they've been working on this summer that we're going to be talking about.
Excellent. Now, you're not in London right now, are you?
I am, yes.
You're in London? Oh, now I'm wicked jealous. Oh, wow. What a great connection we have. That's awesome. All right, Carol.
Hi, I'm Carol Kavanaugh. I'm the superintendent, and I have been able to sort of watch the Diversity Club do some amazing things from afar, and I am just glad that they still let me kind of tag along. So thank you.
Thank you. Kim.
Yes, hi, I'm Kim Hesse, and I work at the Hopkinton High School. I am a co-advisor of the Hopkinton Diversity Club, and I work as a paraprofessional in the school.
Excellent. Shazane.
Hi, I'm Shazane Khan. I just graduated from the high school as a class of 2020. I helped the Diversity Club out a couple of times in the past during my high school careers, playing the sitar in the school hall sometimes for them. But right now I'm just glad to be able to help with this chalk event. Specifically, I'm trying to work with Miss Breen or Samantha Breen to collect a bunch of resources on how to talk to children and other demographics about race.
Great, and it's great to see you again, Suzanne. And Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike Finn. I teach at the Business Technology Engineering section here at the high school. And I was just lucky enough to be approached by a student 4 or 5 years ago who wanted to start a diversity club, and it's been really fun since then, and it's kind of grown from more of a getting to know each other, cultural type stuff, to as things have gotten more serious in society now, and more folks from all areas have become aware and really active about the issues. Miss Hesse's joined us, and we've really just expanded things. We're really happy to be involved in this. We're just one piece of a big puzzle of activity that's happening in the town.
Excellent. And I'm happy to be able to say that I share space with Mike, and it's been really exciting to see his enthusiasm for the Diversity Club and all the activities that go along with that. It's been great chatting with that, which is a great segue to talking about the wonderful energy that I've been reading about as these emails have been going back and forth about this event coming up. Let's talk about it. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to be needed here because Freya was here first, and she was saying that you guys have it all set up and you know what you're going to say. So whoever is teed up to go ahead and introduce this concept and what's going on, take it away.
So before we begin, do you mind if I just say Kathleen Dinsmore is also on the call, and she is the person who is bringing the Freedom Team to Hopkinton as well. So she is integral in our creation of, I shouldn't say our because it implies that I've been involved, and really it has been mostly the Hopkinton High School folks of the Let's Talk About Change.
Thank you for that, because I did not see that. So Kathleen, we just introduced ourselves. So could you please just say hello?
Hi, everyone. I'm Kathleen Dinsmore. And over this summer, we started a Hopkinton Freedom Team, which models itself after the Natick Freedom Team. And so the concept is to have all points of interest and leaders in the town come together and talk about racism and bias, and not only to educate ourselves, but to bring the discussion to the broader community.
Great. Okay, so since there are so many of you here, I'm just going to say, if you guys just have a conversation and talk about the topics, and I'll just kind of jump in if I need to, but take it away and tell us all about this and what's happening.
Can I give a quick overview here of our event? So we're calling it Let's Talk About Change. And it's actually the brainchild of Lisa Winner, who is the START program coordinator at the high school. And she saw a publication about an event that happened in Boston called We Chalk the Walk. And it was initiated by a group called We the People of Boston. And they had a family day of action where they drew messages and illustrations on the sidewalks and pavement in Boston. And they organized this day of action in response to the impact of COVID-19 on Black and Brown lives and the ongoing profiling and harassment of people of color. And so Lisa Winner at our school thought this was a fabulous idea and thought if we could kick off the school year in a positive way to talk about social justice, which the whole school district is putting a lot of energy into this year, we could do a chalk event too. So that is how we began the whole idea of Let's Talk About Change, which is happening this coming Wednesday, September 2nd. Between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the community. Some of the drawings and messages will be done between 12 and 2 at the various schools, but we invite the community to get involved between 2 and 4 if possible. So we have some great supporters. Freya, do you want to talk about who some of the organizations are that are supporting us in this event?
Absolutely. This is one of the things that has been so special about the event, as it's really become a town-wide statement and a town-wide collaboration and commitment to better unity, inclusion, and acceptance. And it's been really nice to see so many organizations come together, whether it's been Hopkinton Public Schools, the police department, fire department, many town societies like the Hopkinton Women's Club, the South Asian Circle of Hopkinton, and many local businesses as well coming together to take a stance on this. And it's very, very inspiring and just amazing to see.
I'll just jump in and say it's inspiring to see you, Freya, and Shazan working and just getting involved. I kind of feel the energy. I'm waiting for the rest of the town to just pick up and run with it. It's very exciting.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's been such a pleasure for me to be able to be involved with this. I graduated class of 2018, and since then I currently live over 3,000 miles away from Hopkinton. But you know what they say in town, once a hiller, always a hiller.
Yeah.
And there's such a commitment in the town of people really wanting to see the best for their community. And a lot of people are starting to realize that that begins with embracing and celebrating our diversity. And that is really what this event strives to do. It strives to open these conversations, to encourage all to get involved. And that's what we're seeing it do, which is really exciting.
So can somebody describe what we can expect to see on the day?
Sure. Sure. We are planning on having the involvement of the all 5 schools, the administration of the school district, the town hall, the library, police, fire, and they're all going to be out drawing messages, positive messages about equity and inclusion and social justice, drawing on their sidewalks, maybe in their parking lots, wherever it's safe. We're asking people to wear their masks, and we're going to then take photos, or asking them to take photos of their artwork and send it all to the Diversity Club email. And we're going to combine them all into a video that we will do something creative with. We haven't decided that yet. So, and we are fortunate to have the South Asian Circle of Hopkinton supporting our efforts, and they actually have an artwork event going on right now to support conversation and not conspiracy. And that is something that can be found on their website, the South Asian Circle of Hopkinton website. So they're working in collaboration with us.
So I know that Freya won't be joining with a piece of chalk in hand. I'm wondering, Shazane, are you going to be there at the event?
I'll certainly try my best. If I can't make it to the physical locations, I will definitely draw my own patterns and own artwork in my driveway, which is another integral part of this event, where we're encouraging the community members that would rather stay at home to just decorate their driveways, their adjacent sidewalks, and other areas, which obviously where it's safe to do so, with positive messaging regarding everything what Ms. Heskey said and anti-racism and all that. So if anything, I'll probably be doing that.
So actually, I may stand corrected. Freya, you may actually be joining in, since you can. What do you think?
Absolutely. My friends lent me some chalk, and I've got just a little plot of land outside my flat in the back garden, so I will absolutely be chalking. And that's one of the best things about this event, is that you can make a difference and you can make a change from your own home. So we encourage everybody in the community, get out on your driveways, grab a piece of chalk, or write some positive messages, whether it's your favorite quote, your favorite words of inclusion and unity, and just start having those conversations. And the hope is that on the day, you'll get to drive around Hopkinton later at night and you'll see just all of Hopkinton full of messages of love and acceptance.
That's wonderful. Now, I see there's potential, there are 8 official buildings in Hopkinton that will be part of this, correct? The 5 schools, the 2 stations, and the town hall. I was wondering, Carol, if you might be able to give us an overview of logistics. Are there going to be, people guiding and organizing, or parking cars? I have no idea.
Kim, I'll let you answer that question, because I feel like you've been the logistical, kind of guru here. But I do have one question for you. Will the drone be involved? Because that takes it to next level for me.
Yes, we are working on the drone level. Absolutely. I have some positive responses around the drone, so we're still working on putting that together. Yes, yeah. And what we have a commitment from now is police officers are going to at least several of the schools, hopefully all of the schools, to do their chalking and messaging on the pavement. And they're also going to draw outside on the sidewalk at the police station. And I believe the fire department is too, and the town hall is too. So honestly, people from town, residents, can go to these public buildings, and or they can draw at their own homes. So it's wide open. Carol, did you want to talk about your dreams about making Hopkinton a more just place for all?
So that's very interesting. I was thinking about that at the start when we were introducing ourselves. So when I came on as superintendent a couple of years ago, we started doing this diversity work, and just like little dribs and drabs here and there, we'd have a forum or, something exciting like that would happen. but it was really contained, I think, to what was happening in our schools. And this feels like it's the first time that we have spilled out into the community in a way that invites the entire town, whether you are an employee or a resident or a volunteer, whatever your status is. This is our chance really to do something that really promotes social justice and make our community even greater, I think, in that regard. So this really has been a dream for me. And I'm really happy to see it coming true. And it would not be coming true if it weren't for folks like you, Kim, Mike, Kathleen, Shazane, Freya. Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
So I'm interested in a few more of you saying what this, there's a lot of smiling faces here, what this event like means to you and what you're excited for. And in addition to that, if you have seen any instances of chalk work that you will found very affirming and very meaningful to you personally.
Well, I'll just jump in for a second and say late last week, Friday, I think we had, I brought some flyers around to the businesses in town to just have, see if they wanted to help promote. And I was amazed, happily surprised at how much enthusiasm there was by the local shop owners and folks that were working there. And that was heartening because you want to get that sense of connection with the community to expand these ideas and activate people who are out there who want to be able to raise their voice. And I had there were a couple of places where a lot of students work and they were really excited. So I'm hoping to see some chalk drawings and things outside businesses in town, which would be kind of great because that's where the public interacts. And I don't know, I thought that just brought to me that hope or that belief that this can, we can translate this to broader common activity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with what Mike is saying. I'm seeing how quick that other organizations have jumped to really support this. I was really impressed by Hopkinton Women's Club. I spoke to them about the event, and something they do every year is donate backpacks and school supplies to Project Just Because, which distributes them to Hopkinton families. And what they've done is they've put the flyer and bags of chalk in each of the backpacks that they've donated this year to encourage people to get involved in the event. And like Mike says, that's so inspiring. And I think on a personal note, this event means a lot to me because this event goes a long way in kind of recognizing that Hopkinton is not immune to racism and that we should not stand by and we should not remain silent to issues of racism, bias, and discrimination, and that we as a town have a duty to reflect, to learn, and to improve our community. And this is really what the event strives to do. So on a personal note, that's really what it means for me.
And I just want to add to what you just said, Freya, that is one of the main reasons why I was inspired to form the Freedom Team. And you are part of that. Carol is, Shazana is, Lisa Winnard, who came up with this Let's Talk About Change, is part of the team. We've got some really wonderful leaders on this team. And so that is my hope and my dream is that we will bring more events like this to the town where we can collaborate with other groups or other individuals within the town and open up the discussion and as well as provide a safe, confidential space for individuals who have been the victim or who have witnessed bias of any sort to feel comfortable to come to the team based on a restorative justice model and try to work through these issues in a meaningful and respectful way. So we can only get better as a community. The three words are love, inclusion, and trust. And we really are striving to make the town live up to that standard.
So Kathleen, I want to follow up on that because I think that was really profound and had a lot of aspects to it you brought in a lot more than just writing chalk messages of support. They can be very meaningful, they can be very personal, they can be very powerful. And we are online, and we do get questions from our audience. And this is one here. I don't know if I want to like take this conversation into a whole bunch of issues, because I think that this let's talk about it is kind of highlighting and starting from a starting point. One of our viewers asked, are there any racist issues in Hopkinton? And so I don't know, I don't think that we need to go into detail, but you know what? Hopkinton is going through a lot of growth, and some people may not know if there are issues or if there are not. A lot of times these issues are hard to talk about. And this moment right now, I think it would be really nice if we could just say, do we have issues in Hopkinton that we look to deal with?
Without doubt, absolutely. And I think that a lot of them are not
Yes.
dealt
doubt.
with. And there's, I think, every town, every individual, it's the society that we were brought up with. It is surrounding us, and it takes a lot of uncomfortable conversations, a lot of self-awareness. We all need to lean into that discomfort and learn from it and grow from it, and we can do that together. And that's what we're hoping, that we can do that with respect, without shaming one another, because we're all learning about this, every single one of us, and we can really learn from one another, and as a result become much stronger individually and as a community.
All right, I think that is well said, and I do really like the positive energy that's with this event. I think that having it be all over the place, it's incredible the far reach that you guys have talked about on this show. And also, I just got to say, I think it's a really great concept of chalk. Chalk is colorful. Chalk is something that anybody can do. And it's in these times when we have to socially distance, you're creating a point of connection. So I think that is all really good. We've got about 5 minutes left. Before I get to anything else I have to say, I want to make sure that if somebody has an aspect of the event that they would like to talk about, whether it be something that they're interested in, creating, or I don't know if there's any kind of RSVPs going on, if you have any kind of sense, or if you want to talk about some of the businesses that have really shown a lot of support, let's just talk about some more details about this upcoming event.
Freya, would you just give us a quick update on the Facebook aspect?
Yeah, absolutely. If you could please follow the Facebook event, it's called Let's Talk About Change Hopkinton. So if you could definitely go on Facebook, find the event, you'll find lots of good resources there as well. We'll be posting pictures throughout the day. Just a quick reminder to send your photos in to us at HHS Diversity Club email and to be included in our video. And yeah, I just wanted to reiterate kind of as a final point from me that this event is not a one-off. This event is the start to a much bigger conversation. Sidewalk Chalk is a really nice way to start the conversation, and this is no way a one-time thing. This is definitely part of a larger community effort that will continue, we hope, to happen across the community. I think Shazane would like to add, so I'm gonna call on him. Yeah.
Thank you, Freya. So to reiterate what I said before, I've been working with Sam Breen, who's an English teacher at the high school, to collect a list of resources and reading material that talks about race and talks about discrimination and anti-racism and how to improve yourself in terms of those areas. And we hope to be sending this list out to the wider community because, personally, I feel like the real core goal of this is to spark those conversations. Obviously, it's not the one and done. It's first of many, many steps in order to reach a truly equitable and equal society. But we really want to encourage everyone to, after this or during this, to have those difficult conversations with their family, with their kids, with their elders, and really try to understand the gravity of what's going on in our society today.
You know, both you, Shazane, and Freya have said
Read
those
that from
words, start the
upstairs as well.
conversation. And I think that this is a wonderful way to do that, to start the conversation. I'm sorry, Carol, did I talk over you? You going to say something?
No, I was simply going to say that if neighborhoods could come together to start that kind of conversation, if we had a group of families, 3 or 4 that came out and talked about it, it would be a really nice way to open dialogue in ways that we think are, you know, kind of casual and safe and all of that.
Right. And Freya did mention that the email address, people can send their photos of their chalk work to. And the full address is HHS Diversity
Sorry,
Club?
HHS Diversity
Okay.
Club. Yep.
HHS Diversity Club @hillers.org. So whoever is out there during the day, wherever they are, in their neighborhood, in their house, or out near a business, please take a picture of it and send it to that email address so that they can include it in the video that they're making of this event. So from the communities that you represent, what type of response, energy, or emotion are you getting back as you talk about what's going to be happening?
One thing I can say that really is very motivating for me is that when this word first got out on the South Asian Circle Facebook page, 2 families were leaving town, had other plans on Wednesday, September 2nd. So they did their illustrations, their chalk drawings on their driveways before they left and sent them to us. So that was really fun to see and really so positive, so heartwarming.
Great. By the way, I heard mention of a Facebook page. Did somebody say the address so people can find it, or did just search under?
Yeah, it's hosted by the Diversity Club. So the Diversity Club should have a Facebook page. Yeah, so this is the event flyer. The HHS Diversity Club, you can see, has commented. So that's our page. But then the page is hosting the event Let's Talk About Change. So there is a formal Facebook event page.
Okay, that is great. So we've got about a minute left before we start bringing this in. And any other comments or feedback that you've had as you have been creating this? And can you talk about what the feeling has been like with the Diversity Club members? Have they been involved with this, and how's that going?
Mike, would you like to take it away?
Sure. Well, for us, I mean, yes, it's basically, it's been the Diversity Club just recognizing and being able to appreciate and work with so many other people and groups in town. And I mean, that's it. The Freya and Shazane and the Hopkinton Freedom Team and all the other cultural groups and organizations in town. So this is something that's people are already ready for, I hope, and this is just, I think, a great event, a way to move the conversation forward to a much bigger and better message.
I agree. And, you know, as Carol said at the beginning, it's beyond the schools, it's bigger, it's into the communities. And, you know, Mike, I've seen the work that you do with the Diversity Club within the high school. It must be fantastic to be creating something that is going into the community.
Absolutely. I mean, one shout out to Tazwar Furtis. Taz, wherever you are at school, thank you so much. And also to Tiffany Ramseren. They really, it's the students that really were the beating heart of this club and kept it going, and they'll continue to do that. You can see that here today.
That's great. All right, so I'd love to thank you all so much for being here, but even more importantly, for the work that you're doing to start a conversation that really needs to be happening in our world today. So I don't say this very often, but I'm really proud of all of you. I think you're doing something phenomenal. And thank you all for stepping up and taking part.
Thank you for supporting us so much, Jim.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. All right, Freya, have fun in London.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us today.
Okay. Shazane, thank you so much for being here.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Kathleen, I'm going to be following up with you after this show about the Freedom Team. So we'll stay
Sounds
connected
good.
on that.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay.
Thank you.
Carol,
everyone.
see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you.
Mike, thank you.
Okay. Bye, Mike. It's great to see you again.
Hi, everyone.
All right. And now we're going to turn to our second half hour, and I'm going to turn it over to Mike Tarosian, who will be hosting. Take it away, Mike.
Thanks, Jim. And that was a fantastic segment. What an event. I can't wait to go around and take some pictures of that and some video tomorrow. Of course, you're signing out with everyone. It almost sounded like I want to hear Goodnight John Boy next. So with me this half hour is Tom Nappy, and we're going to be speaking with the Hopkinton Public Library's children's librarian, Andrea Conboy, who just joined us. Hello, Andrea.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Nice to see you.
Well, thanks for having me today.
Excellent. So, you just started. When was it that you started this job?
It was June 2019. So a
June
little
2019.
Yes.
Yeah. And granted, you had to close down the library in March. So there's still a lot of people that don't know you. So we're going to start off the beginning of the show and get to know you a little bit better. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you came from, and what part, Hopkinton.
So I live in Ashland right now, so not too far away. And I first started in Hopkinton actually as a per diem library substitute. So people might have seen me in that role for about a year, and before I started as a children's librarian. But when I was working here as a substitute, I really, really enjoyed working with this community. When the children's position opened up, I was getting my master's in library science, and it just worked out. So can't think of a better role. I really enjoyed it here.
Fantastic. And I have to say, you probably have one of the best backgrounds that I've seen so far from doing the show every day. That's outstanding. And so working under the COVID I'm sure, has not been that much fun.
Well, I do have to say I really miss my my youngest patrons coming into the library and all of their parents. And I miss getting to see the kids. So, but we've had fun in other ways, granted. This is actually where I do story time now. So that's been a whole different learning experience, getting to bring story time to people's homes.
Sure.
And before that, I was doing them from home on my own couch at home in my living room with my own kitties interrupting now and again. So it's been fun in different ways, but certainly different. But I do miss seeing the kids.
Oh, I bet. That's one of the things that I miss about my job is being out there, filming the children, filming just the people in town. And, it hasn't been that many events anymore. So, but you said you've been doing the reading online and reading at home. You still bringing in any of the local celebrities to read for the kids?
It's been mostly myself, actually. But yeah, it would be nice to have some local celebrities come in and read now and again, especially now that we're at the library, or, perhaps people could read at home and we could stream it from our Facebook page. That would be a great idea.
Sure. Excellent. Well, I come up with them once in a while, but that's awesome. So here we are. We are now, it's the end of summer. Look at this. This is the last day. Well, this what I call last day. Whenever you see the end of August, I think it's the last day of summer. And of course, we all know all the work that everyone does at the library. Worked so hard. They worked around this whole process. Nothing stopped down there. And as far as I know, you still did the summer reading program?
We did, yes. It was a little bit different this year. Typically, it has been a paper-based system where the kids come to the library and they get a reading log and they color in the different activities that they do. And then they come to the library and they pick out their prizes at the prize store. But of course, it had to look a little bit different this summer. We actually took summer reading online. we used a program called Book Points. And so we created a whole program for the kids, but also the teens and the adults. And they entered everything online, but they still could come to the library and pick up prizes outside through our curbside program. And we actually had over 500 kids participate in the program between the ages of 0 and 12. So it was still, I think, a great summer. It was definitely, of course, different. But the feedback has generally been that the kids liked the online program, surprise. They like getting their points and earning their prizes. And they did a really great job with it.
Well, they couldn't go anywhere. And that's the same program where they normally would have to get stamps at the police and fire department and so forth, showing that they read the books. Is that the same one?
No, a different one.
That's a different one. Okay.
Okay.
Because I know, of course, all the places couldn't have any visitors anymore. And I remember being down at the firehouse when the kids would come in and they'd tell us all about the book they read and we'd stamp their little cards. And,
that's a neat idea.
But it's nice that the summer reading, though, is continuing.
Yeah.
It's nice that the libraries, which is normally so involved in everyone, when they talk about, you expanded the library, everyone uses Google today. No, the library is not just a research place anymore. It's more than that. And it's a whole community.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have so many programs to offer and so many, not so much the programs, but you also have events. You're bringing in the people constantly, and it's a great little meeting place.
Yeah, I know it's definitely been a change. We were going from, multiple programs at the library per week to not being able to do that anymore. So it was certainly a change. But over the summer, we started doing some Zoom programming as well, especially with the older kids. And we found some creative ways of doing Zoom programming. Like we had sight word bingo and alphabet bingo, escape rooms, and it was actually a lot of fun. And I think the kids really enjoyed getting to see each other on Zoom and having some of that social opportunity that they didn't otherwise have at the library this summer. So
But now, of course, where everyone had to be creative and come up with new ideas and new ways of giving the same programs, but also new programs. Is there anything that you've learned from our 5 months of COVID that you think that you would probably continue once we're back to normal?
yeah, we actually we started doing, like I said, the bingo programs actually on Zoom. And that has been something I've always wanted to do at the library, just timing wise. I didn't get to do it before we had to go, into isolation and working from home. But the bingo programs were so fun, and it would be so nice to do that in our large event room and have like a large scale sight word bingo, alphabet bingo, like favorite characters. I love bingo, so and I know the kids really enjoy it too. They get so excited when they win, and I'd love to continue that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And for people that still haven't got down that library yet, well, if you ever get a chance to get down there and enjoy it, it's not only a beautiful building because they kept the old and the new, they kept it all looking great and they're all matching up, but the facilities are just the state of the art, and it's more than just checking out a book.
Yeah, it's a really
is.
beautiful building.
So quickly tell me, and I know Tom's got a question for you, but discuss the curbside program and the new quick pick service.
Yeah.
Can you explain how that works?
Sure. So, like many other libraries, we do have a curbside pickup program. So if you have some books in mind that you want to read, if you go onto our catalog on our website, you can request those specific titles. And once they're available, you'll be notified, and then you can call the library to schedule a time to pick those materials up right outside at our Church Street entrance. They'll be kind of packaged for you, already checked out on a table, and you can grab them and go. And yep, that's the catalog right there. Perfect.
That's fantastic.
But sometimes people, especially kids or parents of children, don't always have specific titles in mind. They're really looking more for like maybe just a bundle of board books or some picture books. So I created a form, it's called a Quick Pick Bundle, and parents can go on, and I brought a couple of examples here.
Yeah, give us a show.
And they can go on, and we have 6 different item types, and they can say whether they want a certain number of board books. These would be great for our youngest patrons, our toddlers. This is Cookie Monster. Or maybe they want a certain amount of picture books, like 4 to 5 picture books on different topics. so they can select those. We even added easy readers, so they can tell us maybe the reading level of their child. These are kids who are just learning to read on their own, and we'll put together a couple of books, a couple of easy readers. And we've also got chapter books, and they can tell us the number and genre that they would like. And we've even got graphic novels on that form as well. These are really popular with some of our older kids. And in about a week or two, we'll be also adding DVDs on there too. You guys need some new movies to watch as well. So that's been a really successful program. And again, that's really great for maybe people who don't have specific titles in mind, but they just would like a bundle of reading material to take home so their kids can have something fresh to read.
Oh, excellent.
And what's been the response to these programs so far? Have you been getting a lot of feedback?
From the quick pick bundles?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be quite popular. I know a number of people have filled out the form multiple times, so I hope they're getting books that they like. You know, it's kind of hard because you don't get to ask them exactly what they want, but hopefully there's something in the bundle that they do enjoy reading. And we usually get, I would say, you know, several new requests each day that we're filling. So it's really nice to be able to get the books into the kids' hands in this way. Again, a lot of parents would come in and browse, whereas they don't have that option right now. This is kind of like we do the browsing for them. It's like personal shopping.
And I'm curious, with just starting a couple months ago at the library, how's it been interacting with the staff? I'd imagine there's a lot of Zoom meetings, but have you found it difficult getting to know everybody?
Well, I had been there for about a year before we went into, and then I worked there. Actually, I worked here for about 2 years now as a substitute as well. So I knew them pretty well. They've been really just a fantastic team because it takes quite an amazing team to be able to pull off summer reading going online and then pulling off these quick pick bundle services. They've just been so supportive and so wonderful. They just have such a wealth of good ideas.
And what's the situation at the library now? Are you guys back at the library here and there, or still working from home?
Some of us are working a little bit from home and a little bit at the library. And then some of us, the part-timers, are mostly working all of their hours at the library. So, got a little bit of a mix just to kind of keep still a little bit distance so we're not working, right on top of each other. But we are back in the building. As you can see, this is where I do story time in the programming room, and I'm doing the curbside pickup. Yeah.
And has there been any word on when you'll fully be open to the public or anything like that?
There is not a specific date in mind yet. However, we are currently kind of putting together the appropriate policies and procedures to keep everyone safe and getting the right supplies necessary so that we can take those steps forward. It's a good question.
So speaking of that, I mean, what kind of changes have you had to make from regular to now? And are there changes that you think you're going to have to do to get ready to open even more? Because I remember I had to come in and just see Heather for 5 minutes and pick one item up, and you had to get screened and everything. So what kind of changes did you do in your room, not just at the library? I mean, what did you have to do for the kids?
So right now, the biggest changes we've kind of experienced in the library, because it's just staff, is we try to keep in our own kind of workspace so that, we are maintaining, the right distance as staff. In terms of, welcoming the patrons back in, there's a number of changes we've made, like we've installed hand sanitizers. There's hand sanitizer everywhere. There will be plexiglass installed at the circulation desk just to create a little bit more physical distance and barriers between staff and patrons. I believe there's talk of us putting down the directional arrows in the aisle, just kind of like you see at the grocery store. So I think that will be happening. We've got some increased signage around the library just to remind people to wear their mask and wash their hands. So some of those changes are starting to happen here.
Yeah, that's going to be, I can see that, sure. And again, we still don't know what's going to happen down the line. And, here you are, like you talked about, the plexiglass is going everywhere. It's funny to see how, like, all the bags, they took all those glasses down to make it more open and stuff. And now you see all the glass going back up. And I think we're going to see that from going forward being the new normal, as they say. So with that, as far as if I, as a parent, it had little kids and I want to check out a book, do you make an appointment to come in to see you, or is everything just strictly online and curbside?
Right now, it's all online and curbside. However, when we do have patrons back in the building, I know over at the town hall, I believe you have to make an appointment. There's talk about maybe using that system or maybe exploring some of the systems that other libraries have been using. I think it's still under discussion right now.
Yeah, because I understand not all the buildings are open to the public yet. I wasn't sure what level you were at. I mean, I get the weekly updates. I don't get the daily, so I wasn't sure. So that's right. So with when it comes down to the curbside, do you get to interact with the kids, or is it like strictly here's your stuff, get out? Go back in the building. How do you get to see them? I know you miss it.
I know, I really do miss them. I do occasionally see them, but from a distance. But I'm very eager to see them again. So with the curbside program, when the patrons call and they schedule a time to pick up their materials, we package them up and they're put on a table outside at the Church Street entrance. So sometimes I get to see them walking up to the library, but I don't get to go out and say hello yet. I do miss them. I did see a couple of the kids. They won drawings in the summer reading program. So I had to give them their drawing baskets. And I got to see a couple of them, and they've grown tall already. They're almost taller than me, but that's not hard.
Oh, yeah. That's tough when you get a job that, has your kind of interaction with the public, not to be able to do that anymore. It must be so hard, especially where you love your public. You have that specific age group that you enjoy being with and liking it. So I got to ask you, will the Marathon Elmwood Reader Circle and the Hopkins Reader Circles, is that still going to be happening?
The lights just went off in my room. Hold on a second.
Okay. I love live program. Huh, Tom? Is that great?
That's right. You never know what can happen on live television.
I mean, sometimes our internet connections go down halfway through an interview.
I guess I was just sitting very still. I apologize.
Well, at least you didn't flop your arms and make
I'm in the corner. I don't know if it would have picked that up.
Every once in a while, you'll just have to give a wave.
Yeah. I was good about shaking the mouse so the computer didn't go to sleep, but I guess I wasn't good about making sure the lights didn't go out. Didn't even think of that one. So yeah, in answer to your question, the Marathon Elmwood Reader Circle and the Hopkins Reader Circles will definitely happen again. Not in September, but they'll probably pick up again in October. In September, we're going to be bringing Storytime back. We wrapped up for a little bit this summer, just as the summer reading program ended. But Storytimes will be back the week of September 13th, and there will be a couple of exciting changes for Storytimes. We'll have our baby toddler story time once a week per usual. However, with our preschool story times, we're going to start doing STEAM story times again, which is we used to do those in person.
So explain to everyone that don't understand what STEAM means.
So STEAM is, I think it stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. It's where we integrate the arts and the sciences, and we merge those with story time. And September's STEAM story time will be about colors, and we'll do a little exploration with colors. And then we're also going to start take and make story times as well. So people can sign up to get little crafting kits, and they'll pick them up outside of the library through our curbside program. And then they can take them home, and they'll watch story time, and I'll read a story, and then we'll do the craft together. So that'll be exciting as well.
Well, that was one of my favorite things years back when we used to cover that, have the story time. My favorite one was Christmas. Santa Claus would come in and read a couple stories, and then they go right into the crafts afterwards. And the room, this is the old library we're talking about, downstairs, where there's probably just as much room in your corners they had downstairs. And they were all in there afterwards, and the kids it was just one of the best things I ever saw. So it's so nice to hear that continue. And all my kids all grown. They're all in their late 20s. So, but they went through it. they went through those programs. It's nice to see some tradition keeping in place.
I do miss our weekly craft set story time. That is always my favorite, when the kids come up to me afterwards and they show me their craft and they're so proud and they do such a good job. I miss that.
Oh, that's outstanding. And I hope with the story time and you get the celebrities, I know Police Chief Joe Bennett and Fire Chief Steve Slaver, they love, that's one of their favorite things they like doing, is to read to the kids. And
I'll have to see
it's
if
just
they
about
can
anybody
do
else. Oh yeah. I'll hook you up with some people. There you go. But now, as we said, we end the summer here and we're getting into the fall. What's going on with the fall?
Yeah, so the fall, again, we're going to be bringing back story time the week of September 13th, and we'll be doing that all through the fall.
Yep.
And we'll start to probably see more programming for the Marathon, Elmwood, and Hopkins kids starting in October. So we'll continue to do some of that Zoom programming again that we saw back in the summer. So just letting the kids transition back into school right now. I know it's kind of a little bit of a crazy time, I think, for families with the summer ending and, trying to figure out what's going on with school. And we're gonna take that transition. Those are some of the exciting changes coming up.
So and I know all the schools have their own libraries. Is there a need for any of the children that actually need the public library services to help them with schoolwork that they may not get, or they just prefer to come to your library if they need help with schoolwork, such as projects?
That's a really great question. So I do believe that when the kids are back in school, and I think they'll still have access to the library services at the school. It's going to look a little bit different, I believe, and I think they're still trying to figure out exactly what that looks like. I do occasionally meet with the school librarians. We were actually meeting on a weekly basis right before the summer let out, so I look forward to seeing them again this fall. And the kids do come in to the library looking for certain reading materials to do projects. And they do sometimes like sitting at the library and doing their homework too. So those sorts of resources might be a little bit trickier, but I'm always just a phone call away or an email away, and I can always pull the necessary materials that they need. So they'll still have access, just kind of how they get that access might look a little bit different.
Sure. Yeah, I just remember going through school and, our research was all the cards. That's how we did our research. And we always found that the school libraries were basically all set for all schoolwork until you got to the high school level. And I believe my high school didn't have a library because the public library was right across the street. So there was no need. And they had sort of like an open campus policy at the time. So way back, dark ages.
Yeah, we still get a lot of questions. I think the kids do a biography project each year, the upper elementary kids, and an animal project. We get a lot of requests for those books. But of course, we still fill that need of just, again, they might have to ask for them in a different sort of way than they're used to. The browsing piece is just not there like it used to be.
So if what would some of your recommendations be as far as reading for youth that was looking to read a good book before school starts or anything like that? Do you have any books that you would recommend?
Yeah, we actually have gotten a lot of, I just purchased a lot of back to school books. Unfortunately, I think a lot of them have already gone out through our quick pick bundles. So if kids are looking for some good reads as summer's wrapping up and school is starting, I would actually encourage them to fill out that quick pick bundle. That's a really great way to get your hands on some of those new reading materials. And also on the website, the library's website, if you go to that children's homepage, there's something on it that I don't think a lot of people realize is there. It's called Wowbrary. And what it does is it actually shows you all of our new, right there, right at the bottom, all of the new materials that have just come in. And so you can click on those and they'll bring you right to the catalog so you can request them. I think that's a nice way for kids to see what's new. Normally I have them on display at the library, but whereas you can't really come in right now, it's kind of like a digital display.
And as far as the quick pick, are those like handheld books, or is there a digital program too?
That's a great question. So the quick picks are just like the physical like print books. For any ebooks, you would go on to Overdrive or Libby, and I've done quite a bit of purchasing there to kind of bulk up the children's materials that are offered as ebooks and audiobooks. And I do frequently look and see what are the kids asking for the most, like what are they requesting the most, and purchasing those titles. So those are becoming a little bit more available for the kids. So I would recommend that they browse on Overdrive and Libby to see what materials are available. For example, I know that Wings of Fire is a very popular series with our upper elementary students, and I've purchased those as ebooks. So they are available as ebooks now.
That's outstanding. So, and again, you want to remind people, visit the library's website for everything. Call if you have a question, because someone will be there or answer you shortly, because you're still keeping office hours, right?
Yep, we are. We're here answering the phones between 10 and 4:30. We do have someone down at reference and on the circ desk who can answer those questions, and they'll always transfer upstairs to speak.
Oh, say, and I noticed too on your website too, there's also not just the kind of fun that you offer, but there's also some fun links that send them to other programs as well. And I tell you, I love the NASA's children's website. If you know, for all your future astronauts out there.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Oh my goodness, it's just a lot of stuff that is offered. It is not just here's a kid's book, go and read something and come back. There is just so much stuff to do, and I think that, you know, the library is always on the top of the latest technology, and I'm going to use the word technology, on technology on getting books for you, ways of delivering materials to you, and ways to stay active.
Yeah,
I
staying
mean,
active is important.
It is real important, and to keep someone interested in books during a time that you're supposed to be taking it easy, and we'll call that your summer break. It's just you guys put a lot of work into it and a lot of thought, and it's amazing, and it's great to know too that you always are there to have an answer for something.
Well, thank you. We enjoy serving, so thank you. It's a pleasure.
Well, that's awesome. Well, listen, I want to thank you, Andrea, for taking the time out of your day. I think next week we're going to have the big boss in here talk about some other general library things. I'm going to schedule that with her next. So, but thank you. The room looks great. I'd love to have you back again.
Yeah,
and I'll send you Tom's email because he loves reading to children. He's a big time storybook reader.
Well, I know Mike's looking to do that as well. So
I love doing it.
Thank you, Mike and Tom. I appreciate being on the show. Thank you.
Thanks again. Tom, thank you for spending a little time with us today too. And I want to mention, and when Matt comes back on, we need to talk about Friday night, because he talked about the Hangout Hour for the rest of the week. But Friday night, we are bringing a new spin to our Dive-In, Drive-In series, where we basically highlight movies that are in the public domain, because it costs a lot of money to show one on your television program. And this Friday, Matt and I will be live at 7 o'clock, and we'll be talking about and showing the movie Royal Wedding, which was a 1951 Fred Astaire film, which basically takes place in New York. They're doing a show on Broadway. It gets picked up, and they want it to be done in London, all at the same time during Queen Elizabeth's marriage, during her big wedding ceremony. And a whole little love story. I mean, it's great stuff. So Matt and I are going to talk about that Friday night starting at 7 o'clock, and I hope you tune in for that. Again, Andrea, thank you. Tom, we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see everyone tomorrow with Dr. Kavanaugh. Take care.